Welcome back to the BucketHatSam YouTube channel. Today we are doing my revised and final Premier League table predictions for this season. It's been an absolutely incredible start, and of course international break comes along and ruins it like it does always, but it's a good time to do a reflection and maybe look back at some of my predictions and think, okay, did I get some wrong? So let's get straight into this. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, because there's lots more content coming on this channel. It's non-stop at the minute. Let's get straight into it. Okay, we're starting off right at the bottom of the table. I'm going to go straight in and give you my relegation 3, because guess what? It's changed. Yep, I've changed my mind. I've looked at it on reflection and maybe I was a little bit harsh on some teams, and we'll get onto that. So in 20th spot, I am going for Leeds United. Yes, I'm keeping that the exact same as I had said before. Leeds, yes, I know they currently find themselves, I think it's just around mid-table at the minute, but I have seen from them this season already, they are going to be toothless. They have scored 1 goal in their first 3 games, and I think that is going to be the thing that really hurts them. Going into this season, we said they needed a new striker. We said they needed goals. They said that they were toothless. We said they couldn't do anything in front of goal, and they've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin in. Literally, the bloke has got no teeth. He's completely toothless. The guy is awful in front of goal. We saw that in the cup game where he's missing chances left, right and centre. And it's just moments where he's just head in hand, smacking your head off a wall. It's so frustrating. That's not the sign they needed. And yes, some people might look at the name and go, oh, it's a decent signing. That's exactly the last thing they needed in this kind of situation. Somebody who's going to fluff a lot of chances. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we've always said it needs a lot of chances to get his goals. So I do think that was a silly signing from Leeds United. So I do think they're going to finish 20th in the league, rock bottom. Next, we've got 19th in the league. I believe will be Scott Parker's Burnley. Yes, I still think those two sides will go down as the bottom two. From Burnley so far, yes, I think they've got a good result against Sunderland, but still, on reflection, I've not seen anything from them again. I think the problem for them will be very similar to Leeds, where they've got Ambrosio up top. Yes, he's an all-right striker. They've got Lyle Foster. They've got no real attacking threat. There's nobody in that team where you look at and go, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Yes, they've done some decent business throughout, but defensively, they are always going to be stronger than Leeds, let's be honest. That's in my opinion, that's a given. But I look at them and just think they've got nothing going forward and they need goals to stay up. So both of those sides are my 2 to go down instantly. Then in 18th spot, I believe will be Wolverhampton Wanderers. I do genuinely believe they're going to go down this season. I said before that they do this every year, and they never actually go down. I saw that stat that Wolverhampton Wanderers have only ever won 1 game in August in the 8 years that they've been in the Premier League in this last run. So that's 27 games they've played, and they've only won 1 in August. They always start badly, but this year it feels different. This is probably the worst Wolves squad they've had since they got promoted into the Premier League all those years back under Nuno. You kind of look at it and think, where are the goals coming from? Where is the creativity coming from? And then at least in previous years, they looked good defensively. That was their thing when Pereira came in at the end of towards the end of last season. It kind of made them really defensively strong because Gary O'Neill couldn't get them. They were just conceding goals left, right and centre. But players like Agbadu, who you kind of looked at last season, thought they're decent, have been really, really poor. Yes, I know they've signed in a defender from Girona, but I still don't think it's enough. I really think they've done some panic buys in this transfer window. They've lost some really big players in Cunha and Aït-Nouri, 2 of those probably their biggest creative outlets. So I do think they're nailed on for relegation. I'm really, really like looking at them without my West Brom kind of hat on. I'm looking from a non-bias. I'm worried about the Wolves. I think they're in a really bad situation. Next, in 17th spot, we have got Sunderland. Yes, I originally said they'd finish 17th, and I still think they will do. Yes, I know they currently find themselves 6th in the league. They've got off to an absolutely incredible start to this season. I do believe that is probably a little bit of momentum, because you do often see this with sides as they come up. They kind of really start well, peak quite early, and I think we'll see that. We'll kind of see them kind of plateau a bit and kind of slow down just a little bit, because it's very gung-ho with them at the minute. But I said it before, I really like their manager. I think he's really tactically aware. We've already seen them kind of playing different styles. We've seen them kind of sit back in and then hit teams when they've needed to, kind of getting through the first half of games and kind of just saying, okay, do you know what, we'll cruise through this first half, let's get in, draw in at half-time and then go for teams. We've seen their kind of different styles of play. I really like him as a manager, and I think they've done some incredible business. Brobbery as well, just before the end of the window, a play I always really liked whenever I saw him. I think it was in the Conference League a couple of seasons back when he was playing for Ajax against Villa. I really liked him then, and I've seen bits and parts from him from when I've watched Ajax in European competitions and thought he's a decent player. I like that business again, so I do believe Sunderland will finish in 17th spot. Next, we have got West Ham. I do think they'll finish in 16th spot. I worry about West Ham. The people that say they're going to be relegated, they've got too many game winners, too many match winners for them to be relegated. They physically, in my opinion, cannot get relegated when you've got somebody like Jared Bowen, Paquetá, in their squad. I don't think you can physically get relegated. And Somerville as well. We saw Somerville in that performance against Nottingham Forest. He changed the game. We've said it. A lot of people will forget about just how good he was in that Leeds season when he won Player of the Season. He had torrid time with a lot of injuries last season. We're starting to see the Somerville already. I think he's going to be incredible for them. And the front three, you think about it, Fulkrug, Jared Bowen, Somerville, and Paquetá in behind is scary. No matter how bad the defence is, no matter how bad the midfield is, and kind of how defensively minded the manager's going to be, I still think those players, those individuals will keep them up this season. I don't think they're realistically in a relegation battle. I think they'll be way away from it in time. Whether it's Graham Potter at the helm, who knows? But I think those kind of players, you need those kind of players in your team to stay up, and I think they'll be fine in 16th spot. Next, we've got 15th, I think will be Brentford. Yes, I think Keith Andrews' side so far, so what we've seen from them this season, I think we've kind of seen just Brentford doing Brentford things. I kind of look at them as a whole, and I think the business they've done again has been really good. They lost some really, really big players. They kind of lost that spine straight down in, but they've got Tara up top, who is built for Brentford. I really like him as a signing. Jordan Henderson has kind of just slotted in for Norgard like it was nothing. And then as well, Flecken's gone out the door, and they've got in Kelleher. I think the business they've done this summer has been absolutely incredible. I look at Brentford and just think they just know what they're doing. They're always going to be fine. Brentford will not get relegated, in my opinion. And again, there was a lot of question marks on Keith Andrews. They've done exactly what they did with Thomas Frank, where they just promote through the ranks like they did internally. And I really like him as a manager. He speaks really well at the minute. And I think getting rid of Visser, I know a lot of people will be saying I don't think that's actually great. I think they needed him out because it's not good for the dressing room, not good for the squad, because it's one thing that Brentford are really good at. The one thing you always think with Brentford is they're a squad team. There's no real individuals. And when somebody kind of goes out of line, kind of steps out of line, then you've got to get rid. And I think that's probably really good for the dressing room. Yes, they're going to miss out on his goals, but we've seen already Ouattara has been incredible so far this season. The way he gets in behind is absolutely incredible. And I think Brentford this season will kind of change ever so slightly. What we've already noticed from Keith Andrews' side is they are happy to only have 20% possession. They are happy to sit everyone behind the ball and counter. They were very unlucky against Sunderland. Sunderland got, let's be honest, on reflection, got quite lucky towards the end. I don't think Brentford, it's as worrying a situation as people like to make out. So yeah, I think Brentford will be fine in 15th spot. Next, we've got Fulham, 14th. Fulham, a lot of people discuss their transfer business. Yes, obviously they signed Kevin from Shakhtar Donetsk, but bar that, they didn't really lose anybody. I think that was the biggest thing for Fulham this summer. Just carrying on with their squad. They're in a really good position at the minute, and a lot of people kind of just say they're just kind of plateauing, they're doing nothing. But being a Premier League side, regardless of where you finish, doing this is not easy. So I do think Marco Silva's a good manager, and I think this is probably, they'll need an overhaul next summer, because I think these kind of players that they've got are getting a little bit older now, so we're kind of coming to the end of their careers and things like that, and I think he kind of will need a bit of a regen and kind of a real rejiggle in the squad. But 14th for Fulham for me. Next, we have got 13th, I believe, will be Crystal Palace. Now, some people go, whoa, that's low. Yes, it is low, but I think losing Eze is going to be huge, and I really like Pinto, but I think we've already seen from everything I've read that he's a very inconsistent, just like Eze was, and he's had a few injury problems over the last few years, so it intrigues to see how he does. But I think competing, playing Thursday, Sunday, by about December time, we'll kind of see how much that will affect the squad, because the squad depth isn't there, let's be honest. They've lost a lot of players that I was surprised they got rid of. Your likes of your Joel Ward, your likes of your Jeffrey Schlups, your Edwards, your Ayus, all those kind of players that we've seen kind of leave the club over the last couple of years, the kind of players that you need in and around the squad, just if they play 5-10 games a season, because these players, and especially the way they play, it's going to be really tiring and really telling. You'll see I imagine kind of December, January time, they're going to be shattered. Like Munoz, think about how much he bombs on forward. I just worry for how Palace players are going to how they're going to be, and whether there's going to be a lot of injuries and things with so much football. But yeah, 13th for Crystal Palace. Next, in 12th, I have got Nottingham Forest. Yes, you heard me right. Now, obviously, when I planned this video, Ange has now been appointed from when I first did my notes. So I don't think much changes. And a lot of people going, can they play the Ange system? We don't know yet whether he will be trying to play out from the back and things. But I think overall, let's kind of just move that aside and just look at the squad. There's been a massive overhaul again. So many players coming in and out, and a lot of business being done for Nottingham Forest. But I just look at them, and again, yes, I know the squad depth is there, but I think it's going to take them a little bit of time, because they're not used to playing twice a week. And again, yes, they're going to do slightly better than Crystal Palace in my opinion, but I do think they're going to go all the way in this competition. So I'm intrigued to see how they do, but I do think kind of, again, the players that they've got in and around the squad, I think they'll probably cope better than Palace, but I still don't think they're completely ready for a European run, but we'll see how they kind of do. That's 12th for me. Next, in 11th, we have got Newcastle United. Very similar to what I've just said about Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest, but this time they're in the Champions League. And with this Champions League format, it's pretty much going to be very difficult for Newcastle not to qualify, not to go through to the next round. It's very difficult. This kind of system is designed to keep the bigger sides in. And we saw last time all the English clubs going straight through into the next round. I think Newcastle will do that, and I really worry about their squad depth. The squad depth is better than it was last season. I think they've had a good transfer window, but I still don't think it's just there. And now they've got Invisa and Voltemada. I think that's good business because, again, you can kind of rotate between the two. But I do think overall it's going to be a difficult season for them. So 11th spot for them. Next, in 10th, we've got Bournemouth. Bournemouth have got off to an incredible start. It's been pretty much seamless, and we already said this about this Bournemouth side. Iraola is incredible. He's doing absolute wonders with that squad. The fact that they lose their entire back line, goalkeeper, and then the new players come in. Truffert might even be better than Kirkes, in my opinion. Just the way they do their business and the way they kind of go about their things is incredible. But I do believe they're going to have another very solid season. 10th position, which I think is an incredible achievement for this Bournemouth side, on reflection with the amount of players they've lost, for definite. Especially losing Ouattara as well, who was a great impact player last season. Next, in 9th, I'm going for Aston Villa. Yes, I know they find themselves in the relegation zone at the minute, but I do think they'll sort it out soon. Emery will not allow this kind of to carry on. They're playing as if they're really hungover from last season, from when they bottled it against Manchester United. Unai Emery will get that sorted. Yes, I know they're yet to score a single goal in the Premier League. Yet I know they have been pretty poor, and the performance, the Newcastle result where they got 1 point, bar that, they've been absolutely useless, toothless in front of goal as well. No creativity. But I think it's just they're just lagging a little bit. I think they will be absolutely fine. The talent they've got in that squad, they will turn it around, especially with a manager like Unai Emery. I can't imagine he will allow this to carry on. Expect their next game for them to come out absolutely firing and fighting on all cylinders. I think they'll be absolutely incredible going out throughout this season. I think overall they'll probably finish around 9th, especially with European competition on the cards. I think they'll go, again, very far in that Europa League as well. Next, into 8th position, I have got Everton. Yes, Everton. Yes, I know a lot of people have seen my original prediction on this channel. I was quite worried about Everton, but that was before they got in all the signings, because I'd looked at it as a whole. A lot of players had gone out the door, a lot of big players, a lot of players they've relied on over the last few years, even if just Gana Gaya, who they've obviously got a contract to since then. I think Everton have got something really good, and I know a lot of people are saying Europa League, Champions League. I think they're on a really good run so far. They've had quite an easy start. I think time will tell when they start playing against some more difficult sides, and we'll start to really decide just how good this team is. But I think overall they've had a good start. I think they're going to carry that on, and I really like the signings they've made. Grealish is looking good. And Jai's playing really good. Dewsbury Hall, Barry, and Beto up top look really good together. I just think over time they'll probably just about finish in 8th, which is, I think, is an incredible season. If they can do that, Moyes is back, and it'll be an incredible result for them. It's like Everton of old, isn't it? Not like obviously the old Moyes, because they were fighting all for Europe. That they were just insane. But it feels like a little bit nostalgic. It makes me happy inside. They need that Fat Chang sponsor on the front now. But yeah, I think they're going to have a good season. I really like the business they've done. Next, we are moving on to 7th spot. I am going for Brighton and Hove Albion. Yes, you've heard me right. Brighton and Hove Albion, I always think are a really interesting side. Again, they've spent so much in the summer, so many signings, but again, we never know what's going to happen with this Brighton side. It's like the signings they made last season are slowly bedding in, and all the signings they're going to make this summer will bed in next season. It's kind of that kind of just ripple effect slowly over time. The new players kind of really find their way, and again, it'll be a new name that we've not heard of, but I really like the way Brighton have gone about their business so far this season. They've had a difficult start, a great result against Manchester City, and I really like the way they're playing. I feel like Hurtzler's really going to have a good season with them, and I really like how confident and how driven this side is, and especially when you hear them talk. Hurtzler saying we want Europe, and I think they'll be in and around it again. 7th spot for Brighton, I've really liked. I think the signs so far are really good. I think that Everton performance, they were very unlucky to lose that game. I really think if you watch that game when they lost to Everton, they probably should have won it. O'Reilly had a big chance early on. They had a lot of chances. I think Welbeck missed a penalty. They hit the bar, post, and I think those kind of moments, yes, it didn't go for them in that moment, but in certain games, that will fall their way. And I think overall, the way they're playing and things, it's going to be an exciting season for Brighton fans. Next, into 6th spot, we have got Manchester United. Yes, you heard me right. I don't think Manchester United are in as bad a position as everyone likes to make out. I think overall, the signs have been quite good. There have been some really good performances so far. I don't think the Fulham performance was that bad at all. I think the Arsenal performance was a good sign. Yes, I know people like to talk about Grimsby and things, but let's talk about the league here. I think the fact that they've got no European football, the signings they've made, it's positive. Onana going out the door. I still don't understand why they didn't buy a defender and why they didn't buy a centre midfielder, but that's up to the club. That's not on me. I can only go on what they've got here. But I think overall, I think they're going to be on for a good season. I think the fact that slowly as the season goes on, only playing once a week will be huge for them. Going out the competition at the Cup so early as well. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but I think on reflection, from an outsider, that will only help them in the long run, let's be honest, because they were never going to win it. Sixth spot for Manchester United. Fifth, I have got Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur have got off to an incredible start this season. We've already seen with Thomas Frank the kind of versatility with his tactics, the way he's kind of been chopping and changing every time. We don't know whether they're going to be playing with a back five, a back four. We've already seen the systems change. I really like what he's doing with his Tottenham side. I've said it before. He's an incredible manager. Thomas Frank was Tottenham Hotspur's best signing of the summer. I guarantee that. That's not even a discussion in my opinion. Him and Palini are going to be incredible for them this season. And yes, I know the Bournemouth performance was a little bit disappointing on reflection, and maybe a lot of Tottenham fans thinking, oh, is it as good as we think? Yes, it is. I think that's just a little bump in the road. You're always going to get that with sides, especially early on, kind of. And Bournemouth are a good side. But overall, I think Tottenham are going to have a very, very solid season. And I honestly believe they're going to be in and around that top four. They're going to be really fighting with Manchester City. And next in fourth, I've got Manchester City. Now, Manchester City, interesting start. They've obviously got Manchester United this weekend, which is going to be an incredible game, especially with the fact that Manchester United find themselves above them in the league. Manchester City have a very bizarre start. Everyone thought, oh my word, they're back after the business they'd done, the performance against Wolves, but maybe on reflection, it might have helped that they played Wolves' first game of the season because we've seen how poor they've been. But this is a real transition year for Manchester City. I know we all said that last year, but I think that was from January onwards, whereas, again, it's another transition. I think they'll still get fourth. I still think the talent they've got in their squad is too good to not. But I don't think they're in a title race, personally. I think that top three, the next two we're going to talk about, are way further ahead than they are. So, yeah, they're in fourth for me. Next, third, I have got Chelsea. I do believe Chelsea are going to be in a title race. I really like what they're doing this season. I really like the transfer window that they've had. I think it's been very, very, very good business. I do think the Nicholas Jackson being loaned with an obligation to go to Bayern Munich was bizarre business. Don't agree with that personally, but I still think overall what they've done has been incredible. So much attacking talent, and some defenders coming in as well. I do think they probably should have signed another defender, but overall, I think it's quite exciting for Chelsea. I think they're going to be in a title race like they were last season, but they're going to go a little bit further this time, but I still think they'll drop off. But I do think Chelsea will finish third. Next, into second, we have got Arsenal. Now, a lot of people will be clowning Arsenal for that performance against Liverpool. I don't think it was as bad as everyone said. The reflection as well, I think they got off to a good start. I do think they will go toe-to-toe with Liverpool, but I do believe Liverpool will be the champions this season. I think both of the sides are incredible. I think both of them have strengthened really well, but just Liverpool's business is just too good. I don't think it's anything on Arsenal. I just think Liverpool, we've never seen a side do this. Not even the Man United side, spend the way they have done, go out and kind of rebuild after already winning well. And like normally you say, oh, they've got the foundations and they're building the house on top. They've already had a mansion and they're building another mansion on top. Like the business they've been doing is incredible. So it's nothing on Arsenal. I just think it's incredible from Liverpool. But there you go. Those are my 20 predictions for the Premier League table. They are my final predictions. I won't be redoing it. I'll be reflecting on it later on in the season. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe for lots more content coming your way. Thank you guys for watching. The support on the channel has been absolutely incredible recently. I am trying to get to 15,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It's ambitious, but we can do it with your help. So please do hype this video as well. If you look in the comment section, if you swipe across, you can hype the video. It really helps small creators like myself. So thank you guys. Smash the like button. Please do subscribe and comment down below your predictions. I'll reply to every single comment and I'll let you know my thoughts and tell me, have I got it wrong? Are you a fan of a club and you think it was ridiculous? Tell me. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon. Peace.